What's up, Wing Wing Nation? This is Joe here. We are cooking up a national tour, but we need some info from you. So if you click the link below, there's a survey. We need to know which cities to go to. If you want us to go to your hometown, let us know in the survey below, and we will consider it. It takes like 30 seconds, and you get 10% off our online store if you complete it. And come see us live in person. We're going to have car meets. We're going to have contests. We're going to have sim racing. It's going to be so fun. So let us know where to go, get 10% off merch, and it's a win-win. And let's get into the show.
Hello, welcome back to Past Gas. Today we're talking about Nigel Mansell. Oh my God, is this an insane story? Maybe the most injuries we've ever talked about.
Definitely the most spinal injuries. He's like a zombie.
Dude's doctor was very annoyed with him.
Yeah, I don't know how he survived. I don't know how he's still alive.
He's still alive.
It's crazy.
You may know him as just a guy with a really cool mustache, but he drove for so many different teams. Yeah. He drove in many different series. He fought his way to be able to race. He's really an inspiring character.
Absolutely. So without much further ado, Nigel Mansell. The history of Formula One is filled with colorful characters who drive like maniacs, but few fit that description better than Nigel Mansell. Nicknamed Leone by Ferrari fans for his fearless nature on the track, Mansell rose from humble beginnings to become the only driver ever to simultaneously hold the F1 World Championship and the Indy Car World Series title. Today on Past Gas, what made Mansell so great? Why did he leave F1 behind at the peak of his career? And how the hell did he survive so many near-death experiences? It's the complete history of Formula One's unlikeliest hero.
You know what Leone stands for?
No, I don't.
The Leone.
What does Leone mean? Do you know?
No one does.
Never heard of it.
Probably lion.
Maybe.
Nolan, you would know. You just went to Europe. Did you go to Italy?
I did not go to Italy. Hello, listener. I am back. Welcome back to Past Gas. My name is Nolan Sykes. Across from me is Joe Weber.
Sup, Slime Nation? Slug it up.
And to my left.
Good morning, everyone. It's me, Jimmy.
It is. It's Jimmy Hilton.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm back for my honeymoon. We didn't talk about it on Big 3 this week.
We wanted to respect your privacy.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I also don't know if David Freiberger would have been enthralled by my honeymoon tales. But yes, I'm back. No, I did not go to Italy. I've still not been to Italy.
Yeah. I want to go.
Either one of you?
No, never been.
I've been to Italy 3 times. And that's
really
saying something because I didn't grow up rich. We saved our money and we went to go see where my grandpa was born. Yeah, when I was a teenager, we went like two times, and I think I went once on my own.
Cool.
But sick. Italy's awesome. Yeah, it's so fun.
I really want to go.
I love the Riviera area as well as the Mediterranean now because I went to Greece for a little bit, spent a few days.
Yeah,
Greece and Crete.
The Cerulean Seas.
Oh yeah, how was Crete?
Aegean or Cerulean?
I'm just talking about the color.
Oh, the color is cerulean. Yeah. Speaking of which, funny you mentioned cerulean. We saw the Devil Wears Prada musical. There's a whole thing There's a whole thing about cerulean in that song, I'm pretty sure, or in that show.
How was Crete?
Crete is sick. Shout out to the lovely people of Hania, the coolest city I've ever been to, I think. Just this old port town.
Yeah, really cool.
It's just so cool. And shout out to our taxi driver, Apostolos.
Oh, good Hania.
Yeah. He it was like a kind of cold, cloudy day, and we wanted to go to the beach. And Apo was like, I'll show you a few options. And on the course of the drive up like the coast, he like gave us this whole like a history lesson of Crete and Hania. Wow. And it's just really cool. I heard that Crete, I mean, this is old news by the time you guys hear this, but there's some flooding over there on Crete. Yeah, all this. I'm not sure how.
Mediterranean typhoon.
I think so.
Yeah. Didn't know those existed.
So anyway, shout out to Apostolos. He super cool dude. That was a great.
Hope you're listening, man.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after these messages. This podcast is sponsored by Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Shopify.com/gas. This podcast is sponsored by Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/passgas. Just go to Indeed.com/passgas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/passgas. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Pass Gas by Donut Media is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say that they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. Don't be part of that statistic. Try BetterHelp. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/passgas to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/passgas. Now back to the show.
I feel alive again, guys. I feel
Refreshed.
so refreshed. I feel like before I went on my trip, this is why vacations are important. Like, you know, when you core an apple or slice an apple, the core comes out of the middle.
Yeah,
you
I don't know where you're going with this, but
And
yes, I do.
I feel like before my trip, I feel like I was the apple and my core had been yoinked out and I was a coreless apple.
Whoa.
But now I feel whole again.
It's
Hell
weird
yeah.
because the core kind of sucks to eat.
I know, but
So-
it's holding it all together.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spine of the
Yeah.
apple.
If you guys don't know at home, Nolan wears a lot of hats. He's not only a host,
I got a blue Dodger hat. I got a black Dodger hat.
he's also editor-in-chief at Donut. And so
Huge responsibility.
this is my whole job, is doing podcasts a week, and I shoot about 2 hours of podcasts every week. Nolan shoots 2 hours of podcasts. Then he has to go put on his editor-in-chief hat,
Yeah.
and then he has to put his host hat on for the rest of the week and shoot a ton of other videos.
Yeah. Well, matter of fact, after we do this, after lunch, we are starting the go-kart build video.
Yeah.
We're going to start shooting that. So yeah, Mondays are pretty full. We usually have like meetings and stuff too after. You know, I'm always like, why do we have Mondays or meetings on Mondays after podcasts? But I also realize like I'm the only one who has to like, or not, you're in meetings too and stuff.
It does suck. We get immediately out of the podcast meeting, and then we have like 4 minutes to eat lunch, and then we have to go into the all hands meeting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then there's like development meetings.
There's
after
usually like a
that.
2-hour development. Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of
So,
stuff. It's
yeah, Garfield was right. Mondays freaking blow.
Mondays blow. I didn't really understand it because I liked going to school when I was a kid, but now I understand.
Yeah.
Mondays are a lot.
And lasagna is sick.
Lasagna he was right about that.
Yeah. The older you get, the more you realize Garfield's right about everything.
John Davis is a prophet and my personal guiding light.
He really does guide me.
No, but I want to thank everybody who came out to the Peterson Cruisin', even though I was
Oh,
not
yeah.
there.
We were there in spirit.
We had that cardboard cutout. I got a lot of pictures. Thank you. And also I hear that there's a guest book for my honeymoon that people were signing. I've not yet
Yeah.
looked at that yet.
I'll go get it for you after this.
Okay, thank you. So thank you guys for everybody that signed that. And I heard it was a really great event. Jimmy, you were there.
Yep.
Joe, you go?
I did go. I had a narrow window where my son was napping, so I snuck out. You know what sucks is I'm not in any of the group pictures anymore because I can only attend stuff for like 45 minutes now, and then everyone takes the group picture at the end.
I wasn't in the
Yeah.
group photo though as well because I had to go find the guy to give my trophy to, and he just left. So I was
Oh.
trying to find him.
And they took a group photo?
Yeah.
What? Damn, that sucks.
So it's okay, Joe.
Okay, thanks.
It's all good.
You know, people in the comments are like, when does the actual story start? So we should probably start
We probably
reading
should.
about
Yeah.
Nigel Mansell
Yeah.
today.
A figurehead.
One of the
a
most
pillar of the community.
I think, yeah, one of the most iconic F1 drivers of all time. And I'm surprised that, well, okay. I say that he definitely is, like, if
Yeah.
you're in the
Mhm.
know, but underappreciated icon, I think.
I think so.
Is he in the Hall of Fame? for F1?
Actually,
Is there
don't
a
even
F1
know.
Hall of Fame?
No.
Oh, shout out to Larry Chen for making
Yeah.
the Formula Drift Hall of Fame. That's super sick.
Long
That's what I'm
overdue.
thinking about, just because I
Yeah.
went this weekend.
But back to Nigel Mansell, I don't know enough about Formula One to know if there's a Hall of Fame, but he's one of those characters that crops up in every single story that we read, where it's like, oh, and then his teammate for the year was Nigel Mansell.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, whoa.
He's like always been a supporting character in every story that we read. And so it's fun to finally come full circle and like get back to his story.
That's right.
Also,
Now he's the bride, no
now he's
longer the bridesmaid.
Yeah, 27 dresses.
That's right. Let's get into the story here. Nigel Mansell was born in 1953 to a middle-class British family. His father, Eric, worked as an engineer for Lucas Aerospace. Nigel had a close relationship with his mother, Joyce, who was supportive but had an adventurous streak. In his memoir, Nigel recalls, quote, "I used to love sitting in the back of the car with my siblings, speeding along, sometimes as quickly as 100 miles per hour. She only ever lost it once, as far as I recall, in the snow, but I just loved that sensation of speed."
That's cool to have a wild mom like that.
Yeah, going 100 in the snow, huh?
I don't think I've ever seen my mom drive faster than 75.
I've never seen my mom go on a freeway.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Does she always have a driver?
No, she just goes on like surface streets. If you can get there via surface streets, she's taking surface streets.
I had a friend go on a date with the lead singer of Mars Volta, Omar. Omar from Mars Volta. She went on a date with him, and he picked her up from like the Deep Valley, and they were going to go to some place in Echo Park.
Okay.
Which on the highway would have been 35 minutes, but he doesn't do highways. So it was their first date, and he went to go pick her up, and then it was like 2.5 hours of them driving on city streets to the destination.
Dang.
And it's cool dude, Omar from Mars Volta,
Yeah.
but still, like, just take the highway.
Just take the highway, man.
It's a great way to start a first date.
Yeah.
Hilarious. After watching British drivers like Jim Clark and Sterling Moss on telly, Nigel declared at the age of 8 that he would one day become the Formula One world champion. Despite lying about his age to enter his first race, he quickly started winning local kart races and finding legitimate success at the junior level. Young Nigel developed an aggressive style and gained a local reputation as a fierce competitor. As a teenager, he was chosen to represent England at the international level, which led him to begin racing across Europe and Scandinavia. Despite his success on track, Nigel privately struggled. His family relocated often, which led to repeated bullying as the new kid.
Look at that kid with the mustache. It's a perfect mustache, but he's 14. Don't fit his face, mate.
In order to race for England, he was given a special 2-week leave of absence from school. And in response, bullies attacked him with a cricket bat,
What?
leaving him on crutches for 6 weeks. Nigel didn't let it affect his performance, though. By the end of high school, Mansell had won 7 local championships, 1 regional championship, and 1 short circuit national championship.
Damn.
The kid's a phenom.
Can't believe he's getting bullied for just going kart racing.
Oh, you think you're better than us, don't you? You can drive.
With your kart.
The natural next step for aspiring pro racers was to join the British Formula Ford series with the aim of graduating to F3 and eventually joining Formula One. Mansell wanted to follow that path, but his parents weren't exactly enthusiastic about the idea. Nigel's dad, Eric, promised to help fund Nigel's racing dreams if he finished engineering school. So, at age 21, Nigel earned his degree, only for his father to reveal afterwards that he had lied to keep Nigel focused on school.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bad lie.
And he admitted the family couldn't afford to support Nigel's
Oh,
career.
okay. Damn.
Nigel was undeterred, but this led he and his new wife, Roseanne, to face financial hardship. While most new drivers took weeks of lessons in order to transition to single-seaters, Mansell could only afford 1 half-day session. To help cover expenses, Nigel and Roseanne worked late nights for Roseanne's brother's picture framing business.
That's really cool that she's being pretty supportive of him. That's, probably a lot of money at the time to
Absolutely.
be going to the racetrack and doing lessons.
Yeah, definitely.
And being a young couple,
It helps when you're really good. If
She probably saw it as like,
yeah,
you have
the potential.
The potential.
Yeah.
At least the hunger. Because he's got karting experience.
Mm-hmm. Is he in Formula 4 at this point?
I'm glad you asked that, Jimmy. They eventually scraped together enough savings to buy a used 1600cc Formula Ford car for £1,500, 1,500 quid.
Oh, I think I'll just park it in the driveway.
Pounds sterling. The Formula at the flat.
Yeah.
The classic British driveway.
The driveway.
The driveway.
The
Parkway.
The parkway.
Why do we park in the driveway? Drive on the parkway. Riddle me that, Quizler.
The Formula Ford series was extremely competitive for a developmental circuit. Each drew up 140 entrants, which meant racing in multiple heats. But Nigel thrived. In his first series, he won 6 of the 9 races he entered. Damn, he's killing it. In 1977, Mansell was introduced to car manufacturer John Crossley, who gave Mansell a new car that was a big improvement over his previous used one. It was enough for Mansell to decide to turn professional, despite having little money or resources. At 24, he left a promising engineering job at the same firm his father worked at to pursue full-time racing.
If it was so promising, why couldn't his dad afford to fund his career, huh?
The 70s was a pretty bad time for the British economy, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Have you seen that show, The Gold? It's a limited series.
No. The Gold.
It's the guy from Slow Horses. Have you seen Slow Horses?
No.
Man, you guys got to get on top of your British shows.
Yeah.
You haven't watched Little Britain, though.
No.
Little Britain, that's a great one.
Is it really good?
It's really
Wait,
good.
that's the one with the...
It's like the skit comedy one, and it's like the 2 guys, and they just do like
See, here's the
quirky
thing.
characters.
I don't like that Matt guy. That the bald guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alopecia. Not because he has alopecia. That's his defining characteristic. He's also on the British Baking Show. He sucks on that. He's just not a funny dude.
Whoa.
IMO.
Joe.
I also don't like Rebel Wilson. She's in that, right?
Maybe.
I thought she was Australian.
She's Australian.
No, she's not in that.
Okay, never mind. But those are two opinions that catch me flack all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're always in stuff together.
Well,
so
you
I
should
figured,
give it a
are
try.
they?
It's from the early 2000s. It's very good.
Look up Little Britain and see if Rebel Wilson's in it.
Matt Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think he's funny.
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so after receiving the new car from Crossley, Mansell had his first serious accident. At Brands Hatch, Mansell hit wet grass, lost control, and crashed backwards into a barrier. His brand new Crossley lacked a headrest or proper seat, and the crash broke 3 vertebrae in Mansell's neck.
That's
God
what I
damn.
call whiplash.
Dude, now's not the time to... That wasn't even a joke. What the hell?
He later described the temporary numbness it caused in his arms and legs as, quote, terrifying. Despite the broken neck, Mansell returned to racing just 7 weeks later. Wearing an orthopedic neck brace, he went down to Walgreens and got himself a brace. And, or they probably call it something like Brooks over there.
It was
No,
probably
there's a store there called like Greg's, a pharmacy called Greg's in London.
weird.
Come on down to Greg's.
Come on down to Greg's. We've got everything to keep you healthy.
Percocets.
So he's wearing this neck brace from Greg and won the final race of the season to capture the Formula Ford championship by a single point.
God, dude,
Dang.
this is not quite the levels of G's that you're feeling in F1.
No,
but still,
definitely
You gotta have some neck muscles.
you have to have neck muscles, and to have a broken neck and still be able to like support your neck and turn it and
Yeah.
look ahead on the track is crazy. That's
Guy was dedicated.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing so far, this dude is just like super driven. Despite his background, he's not able to afford stuff, but like he makes it work.
Over the season, he won 33 of the 42 races that he started. Now, again, remember, they're doing a lot of heat racing, so that's how he got that many races in. Mansell was offered a works car for the next Formula Ford season, but instead he opted to bump up to the next level in Formula 3. His early experience in F3 was challenging due to the overwhelming costs. March Engineering offered Mansell a drive for the 78 season, provided that he brought funding to the table. But despite contacting over 400 companies seeking a sponsorship, he found it impossible to secure a sponsor.
Greg's won't even Write me back.
I want to know his pitch.
Picture this. I'm crossing the checkered flag line and Greg's is right there. What's the
Greg's
sounds
pharmaceutical.
like what's the like Vons of
Isn't it like
there's,
it starts with S.
There's an Asda, which is their Walmart.
Oh.
Asda, I think.
Picture this. I'm crossing the finish line and Asda's written all over the side.
Yeah.
That was his pitch.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah.
It's a good pitch.
I would have signed him right then and there.
You know what our last meal in London was? We wanted something.
Nuts and bolts.
We wanted something we
Bangers
knew.
and mash.
Oh, I got food poisoning my first night in London.
Oh, God.
We were staying at our friend's apartment.
Yeah.
We get back from dinner. I go to the bathroom and just destroyed the place,
Yeah.
right? I'm like,
Dang.
oh,
That's
no.
that old London plumbing too. Doesn't hold up.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed, obviously, because this is like our friend's house for the first time. I know them, but like
You don't know 'em
I
like
don't
that.
know them like that.
Yeah.
And then proceed to cut 2 hours later. I'm on the floor of this bathroom,
Oh, no.
I vomited like 7 times.
Oh
Uh,
no.
What did you eat that?
Well, I'm not really sure. I think it was a slice of pizza that I had.
What?
Yeah,
Pizza is so easy.
I know that it was a safe bet. So anyway, this whole trip in London,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't eat anything risky because I don't want to like have a repeat.
That must
Yeah.
have been pretty easy though. I feel like.
Kind of.
Right?
Well, anyway,
Everything's
so
deep fried.
no, there's one thing they wanted to get. I forget what it's called, but it's like a deep fried sausage. And I was like, I'm
Oh,
absolutely
Scotch egg?
no. But I
That
was
had
like,
sausage.
a corn dog.
it's kind of like a corn dog, but not really. But I was like, I'm absolutely not gonna have that right now. But anyway,
Yeah.
so for the flight home, I didn't want to have another incident,
Sure.
so we went to McDonald's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Safe.
It's always
But
a safe
It
bet.
was inside an Asda, so it was basically
Oh.
like a Walmart McDonald's.
Oh, my
Nice.
God.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good.
You got like a lobster roll or something?
got two.
What do they have crazy there?
They have like curry sauce.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so good.
Did they have
yeah.
the Minecraft meal there?
They sure did, Jimmy.
Nice.
Yeah. I did not get the Minecraft. Anyway,
Dang
whatever.
it.
What were we talking?
we took the Polaris slingshot to go get McDonald's as a bit.
Did you get you got the Minecraft?
I got 4 Minecraft meals and it was $55.
Yeah,
That's expensive.
McDonald's is
What the
expensive.
hell,
Now
dude?
it really is MC Steakhouse now.
Yeah.
Truly. So Nigel needs sponsorship money, right? In a desperate move with their backs up against the wall, Nigel and Roseanne decided to sell their home and nearly all their belongings to secure the deal with March.
Yeah.
But the
Dang.
team terminated their relationship with Nigel after just 6 weeks, leaving Nigel completely broke and largely unable to drive. Things began to improve, though, in 79. Mansell secured a paid seat in Formula 3 with Unipart. And though his season performance was mixed, he was introduced to Colin Chapman, founder of...
Lotus.
That's right.
Lotus.
The opportunity to drive for Chapman was quite literally Mansell's greatest dream. He had even gone as far as taking flying lessons because he heard Chapman was an avid pilot and wanted to have something other than cars to talk to him about. That
Oh, that's
is
smart.
called grind set, people.
That's called networking.
That's crazy. I mean, that's why you learn to golf, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So you can rub elbows with
Rub elbows and be
Top
like,
brass.
hey,
Talk about
let's
golf.
let's set up a tea time.
How's
Yeah,
your
what's-
short? How's your short game?
yeah, what's your handicap?
Mine?
Yeah, what is it?
Sad and distractible.
My handicap is that I care too much.
We'll be right back after these messages. This podcast is sponsored by Shopify. Starting a business can be intimidating. You have to figure out literally everything about business. So why don't you make it easy on yourself and use Shopify for your online sales? Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store to match your brand style. Accelerate your content creation. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/gas. Go to shopify.com/gas. Shopify.com/gas. This podcast is sponsored by Indeed. Here's a little scenario. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. With Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. One of the best things about Indeed is how easy it makes hiring. Sometimes I just get overwhelmed with a million different tabs on my browser. With Indeed, it's all just in one place. It's super easy. Plus, with Indeed Sponsored Jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? In the minute I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/passgas. Just go to Indeed.com/passgas right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/passgas. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Now back to the show.
Mansell thoroughly impressed Colin with his driving. Chapman offered him a job working for Lotus as an inspector and engineer, as Lotus needed someone to handle supplier quality control and compliance. More importantly, the job allowed Nigel to get to know Chapman while also maintaining his weekend race schedule over in Formula 3.
It's kind of like how we gave Jimmy, the producer, credit. We're like, you're a host, but like on paper, we got to give you something else to do. And you're like, I guess I'll look at cars.
Just looks at cars all day.
All was well for a bit, but in September of '79, Mansell's season again was interrupted by a severe accident. His car had flipped in the air, somersaulted at 165 miles per hour, and landed upside down, crushing Nigel's lower spine.
Dude, his spine can't catch a break.
Oh.
No.
His recovery took weeks, during of which he was invited by Lotus to compete against 4 drivers at the Paul Ricard circuit in France for a potential F1 seat.
He's still got that neck brace on.
Now it's just like a metal spine bracket.
Desperate to not miss the opportunity, Mansell recalls, quote, "I simply told everyone I was fine." Then phoned the doctor for more painkillers and packed my bag.
Nice.
He looked at his "Keep Calm and Carry On" poster.
However, his initial laps in an F1 car were disappointing. He was the last driver of the day and struggled to control his car. Mansell described feeling overwhelmed as he ended up 5 to 6 seconds off the other driver's pace. Luckily, though, the next day went much better. With fresh tires and an overnight mental processing, he adapted quickly, and within 2 laps, he was 6 seconds faster than the previous day. It was enough for him to earn a spot as a test driver behind Mario Andretti and Elio De Angelis, with the added chance to start a few races next season.
Last week, I went to the start of the Indy Car Grand Prix, the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Mm-hmm. That already happened?
No, it's happening this weekend, but they're getting stuff
Is it
set
like a
up.
media
There's like a
day,
media
right?
day.
Right.
It just so happened that it was also practice for FD.
Right.
And so I was like, hey, Colton, thanks for being on. And immediately a straight pipe Mustang starts up in the background. And so I don't think we're going to be able to release the interview. But I did do a ride along in a 2-seater Indy car.
Cool, yeah.
We got up to, I think she said 186 miles per hour.
Damn.
Whoa.
Okay.
And the whole time I'm thinking like, there's no way I could ever be in control of this car because I can barely like hold my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I couldn't imagine like having the fine mechanics in my fingers and feet to like have the touch to control this car.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
And they're not just like, it's not just like controlling. That's like the bare minimum. It's
Yeah.
like strategy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Consistency. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And also like adjusting the car as you're going down with all the knobs and stuff they have in the wheels.
Oh, multitasking.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all that kind
wild.
of stuff.
Talking even.
Talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening.
We had David Freiberger on Big Three, and he was talking about how he has to adjust to being an NHRA commentator and have the producer in the ear go like, ask him this question, or it'll be like count down from 10 seconds or whatever, and still maintain eye contact and interview someone or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's only two things.
Mhm.
Like imagine splitting your brain and all your limbs. Every single limb is doing something different.
Mhm.
And you're also splitting your brain into doing all these things and like trying to look down track, and like perception is another
Crazy.
thing you have to get used to. Like,
crazy.
yeah.
Nigel Mansell made his F1 debut in the 1980 Austrian Grand Prix shortly after his 27th birthday. It wasn't exactly a grand day at the races, though, because during the race, hot fuel began leaking into the cockpit and onto Nigel's lap.
Dude, this guy is the worst luck.
After about 40 laps, his engine blew up and he retired from the race with second and third degree burns on his
Ooh.
legs and ass. The
Dang.
experience left Nigel unable to walk properly and required heavy gauze dressing for weeks.
What a gnarly first race.
That's insane, dude.
Wasn't that a joke we wrote into one of our videos that we kept saying over and over? Like have hot coolant spray all over your balls. And
Oh, yeah. And
legs.
then I was in the Supra.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my balls.
My balls and my legs. This actually happened to Nigel Mansell.
At the end of the 1980 season, Andretti joined Alfa Romeo, so Colin Chapman offered Mansell a full contract for 1981 to become Lotus's number 2 driver behind Elio De Angelis. Chapman was adamant about Mansell driving despite resistance from sponsors, feeling it was important to have a British driver. Over the next 2 seasons, Mansell made slow but steady progress, learning the ins and outs of Formula One. His 1981 was marred by inconsistency, but included Nigel's first ever podium finish. Afterwards, Chapman offered Nigel a new 3-year contract that helped him go from starving artist to millionaire overnight, solving his money woes for good. He finished 14th again in 82, but the season was disrupted when Chapman, who had become a mentor to Nigel, passed away from a sudden heart attack.
This is kind of controversial too, right? People think that he faked his death
That's right. Yeah, we
Really?
talked about
because
that.
he had a lot of debts at this point, I think. And maybe even like some country's government coming after him.
Yeah, we talked about it in our episode on Colin Chapman. So if you want to know more, if this intrigues you, go check that out.
I'm going to listen to that after this.
Be like Jimmy and listen to it after this.
That's called a pro level internal promo right there.
That was great.
Yeah.
In addition to a sense of personal loss, Mansell felt that Chapman's death led to increasing tensions between him and the remaining Lotus management. Without Chapman's personal backing, Mansell's needs were largely ignored as the team instead focused on their number 1 driver, De Angelis. Nevertheless, though, Nigel's performance continued to improve. He finished 83 with 10 points and a 12th place finish in the championship,
So he's getting up there.
his highest yet. In 84, he earned his first pole position in qualifying at the Dallas Grand Prix.
Whoa.
De Angelis came second, marking Lotus's first front row lockout in 6 seasons.
This was at Cowboy Stadium. And
Was it really? Oh.
it went up into like the bleachers.
Yeah, they
Whoa.
went past the book depository.
Yeah, what the what is it, a library or is it not?
It had been 20 years.
No, but seriously, what is a book depository and not why is it not a library?
The school district stored their books, wasn't
Oh,
it?
really?
Yeah.
It was more of like a storehouse.
Yeah.
It was
More
on
like a
the
warehouse.
9th floor of
Yeah.
a high rise though. Why not just a warehouse?
I don't know.
Who knows?
All the money.
Follow the books.
All that paper.
Paper trail.
Paper trail.
Now it's making sense.
So, during the race in Dallas, past the book depository, extreme heat caused track deterioration and tire issues. Nigel battled handling problems, and on the final lap, his transmission failed. Determined to finish and secure a paycheck bonus, Nigel got out and pushed his car towards the finish line before fainting on the track due to heat exhaustion.
Jesus
That's what's
Christ.
up.
That
That's
is
really
awesome.
cool. That's badass, though.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's sick as hell.
Badass, but also kind of
Dangerous.
What's wrong with our society is like, if this guy doesn't finish, he doesn't get his cash.
Yeah. For the 1985 season, Mansell was recruited away from Lotus by one Frank Williams to join the very Britishly named Frank Williams racing cars. The year was filled with high highs and the lowest of lows.
Whoa. Dude, you got range.
Thanks, dude.
You're like Roy Orbison, 8-octave Nolan over here.
That's what they called me in high school. Nigel suffered another massive crash when his rear tire blew at 200 miles per hour, leaving him heavily concussed. This dude is getting beat the fuck up.
And it's all like his head and his spine.
Yeah.
And he's still alive, by the way.
I know, he's still alive. Yeah. So we don't have a tragic ending here. But yeah, dude, this is getting beat up. Nigel also captured his first F1 win at the European Grand Prix, then followed up with his second win, making him the only driver that season with back-to-back victories. He ended the season 6th in overall points, another personal best. The 1986 season was notable for Mansell's on-track success, as well as a personal rivalry with his new teammate, Brazilian driver Nelson Piquet. Piquet was a 2-time world champ, and Mansell claimed that Piquet played psychological games, including criticizing Mansell to the press and insulting Nigel's wife, Roseanne.
Whoa.
He's kind of a piece of shit. He is Max Verstappen's father-in-law.
Yes, he is.
And I've heard not so good things about him.
Yeah.
I am messing with you psychologically.
But on the track, Nigel remained focused. He claimed 5 wins and one notable second place to Ayrton Senna by the closest margin in F1 history. Mansell led the World Championship standings heading into the final race in Adelaide, Australia.
Adelaide.
Adelaide.
Needing
What region is that?
It's the south.
southwest or east.
By Melbourne?
South.
It's great that I know all these cities and can
that's
visualize
Gold Coast, right?
No, Gold Coast is up there
Oh, okay.
on the East Coast. That's where I'm from.
on the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast.
Our golden boy from the Golden Coast.
Our golden boy from the Golden Coast, Mr. Jimmy Hills.
Great.
So,
I love that one.
Mansell only needed to finish third or better to clinch the title. However, sitting in third with a few laps remaining, Mansell suffered a dramatic tire explosion
Oh my God.
that damaged his suspension and brakes, leaving the car
What bones are you going to
undrivable.
break this time?
Luckily, no bones.
Okay.
Luckily, his head ripped clean from his spine.
Nigel lost the title to Alan Prost, the professor, by just 2 points.
Yeah.
Commentator Murray Walker later called footage of Mansell's blowout the most memorable shot of all time. Nigel was crushed, figuratively,
Not
not
his
literally.
spine.
okay.
this
Okay.
time.
Thank God.
But the tragic loss helped establish his reputation among racing fans as the people's champion.
It's weird that I've never heard of Elio DeAngelis.
Yeah, me neither.
Mhm.
I'm unfamiliar with that.
And
name.
we've talked about everyone on this. It's crazy that that guy was number one for a long time. And
I think that's because he was number one at Lotus,
yeah,
but not a champion.
no, I know. I'm just talking about I feel like I know a lot of number one
Sure.
drivers on
Mhm.
teams
Yeah.
throughout history. And I've never heard of that dude.
Mansell's 1987 season featured 2 memorable showdowns with rivals, but only one of them happened on the track. In his victory at Silverstone, Mansell erased a 29-second deficit and overtook his teammate Piquet on the outside using a now iconic move called the double bluff. The Daily Mail called it one of the most memorable races in F1 history.
That's my favorite newspaper.
But off the track, Mansell and Senna faced off in one of Formula One's fiercest post-race confrontations. After what Mansell considered dangerous driving by Ayrton in Belgium, Mansell found Senna in the pits and pinned him to the wall by the neck
Whoa.
until 4 people dragged Mansell away.
Oh my God.
Mansell said that their relationship afterwards featured, quote, a healthy respect.
Hey, I respect you for doing that, all right?
Oh my God.
A world championship again proved elusive, though. But it wasn't because of Piquet, Senna, or Prost. Instead, Mansell suffered yet another crash this time during qualifying in Japan. The impact again left him with fractured vertebrae as well as now broken ribs.
How does he have any vertebrae left?
How does he not just have like a fused like rod of a spine?
Yeah,
You know
how
what I
much
mean?
metal is inside this man?
A
Sleep
lot.
standing up.
So he missed the last 2 races and PK won the title. And by the end of the year, Nigel was 3/4 of an inch shorter due to all the accumulated back injuries.
What? I feel like when you break stuff, it adds, like you get new bone or
Oh,
whatever.
you think it would go taller?
Yeah. Because that's how they do the leg lengthening stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. They break your leg, then they put a brace on it, and then slowly kind of like screw it
What?
to make it
Oh,
because it fills in the gap and it
Oh
creates
my
new
God.
bone. Yeah, that's why it's super painful.
makes me cringe.
I'm
Damn.
still gonna get it done though.
I got. I was gonna.
I have one really long finger.
Let me just press enter on my
Like-
laptop.
Oh God! Everyone
Does anyone
throws
need
up.
me to enter
No,
the meeting?
no. Yeah, it's like little hand
Look
from
like-
Scary Movie.
Yeah. If anyone needs me to like point anything out, I got you. Mansell left Williams after the 1988 season, which was dominated by McLaren. Together with Honda, previously Williams' engine supplier, McLaren debuted a new turbocharged engine, which Senna and Prost used to take 15 wins in 16 races.
It's a lot of wins.
Dude, Honda's been in F1 since like the
60s.
so long.
Yeah, but not continuously though.
No.
They kind of come in,
Do some crazy shit, and then they're like, we're out.
yep, and then they come back. They're like
Do it again.
Gandalf, kind of.
Yeah.
They're like the Gandalf of F1, I think.
Yeah,
Gandalf comes and goes, right?
Somewhat.
yeah. He always
He was in The Hobbit, right?
and
He
then
shows up. He's
and
like,
then
"Hey,
he goes,
Bilbo, I need you to do something for
Yeah,
me."
and then he blows weed smoke in his face, and then
Yeah.
and Bilbo's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah, what's in that?
Let me get
weed
some of
smoke?
that.
Yeah. They actually call it weed. It's called weed in the book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. 420, blaze it.
Biggest pothead at Donut
Yeah,
right here.
Dude, I fucking wish, man. I just get paranoid, so I can't do it.
When's the last time you smoked weed?
Physically smoked weed was probably 2018.
Whoa.
Wow.
And then I'd like tried fucked with vapes a couple times.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea.
It
Vapors.
really made you so paranoid.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then, I've been doing I tried edibles here and there. Those are gnarly too.
Those are super gnarly,
Yeah.
and you don't know how it's going to affect you.
It was really fun. The last fun experience I had was with it was like Christmas, like 2 or 3 years ago. And like my sister brought these edibles and we were playing Settlers of Catan.
Oh, that's the
dang.
setting, dude.
That was fun. Dude.
Yeah. With
was
your
fun.
sisters, everyone's safe.
It was so chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tight.
We'll be right back after these messages. Past Gas by Donut Media is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey said that they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them. It impacts families, workplaces, and entire communities. This Mental Health Awareness Month lets encourage everyone to take care of their well-being and break the stigma. This world is better when people are healthy and happy. I say this a lot, but I think everyone should try therapy at some point. It's literally just talking to someone. Everyone could use that. And if you're new to therapy, BetterHelp is a good way to get into it. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. It's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/passgas to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/passgas. This podcast is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Do you ever watch sports and find yourself wishing there was a way to get into the game? Let's go! With Underdog, there's finally a way to make picks on sports without leaving the house. The game is in your hands. Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in your state. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. We're talking touchdowns, strikeouts, points scored, and more. There's so many options. They've got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. You can create entries with all baseball or mix and match across other sports too. I know that NBA's in playoffs right now. I think I'm probably going to try to find some pick'ems on the NBA playoffs. This week, though, I'm still going with MLB. I'm probably going to go Ellie De La Cruz for 8.5 points. I think I'm going to go higher than 8.5 points. And I don't know, lower than 0.5 home runs. I don't think Ellie's going to hit a home run. So I think those are pretty solid picks. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to throw Fernando Tatis Jr. in there with higher than 0.5 home runs. I think he's going to hit a homer this time. Those are my picks for the week. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code GAS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make the first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code GAS. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Now back to the show.
In 1989, Mansell joined perhaps the most famous and historic F1 team of them all, Ferrari. He was the final driver personally selected by Enzo Ferrari before he passed away in August of '88.
No
Wow.
way.
What a privilege.
That's
Yeah.
sick.
The 1989 season saw a huge change in Formula One with the ban of turbocharged engines. Ferrari developed a complex new car featuring a revolutionary semi-automatic paddle shift gearbox, which allowed drivers to change gears while keeping both hands on the wheel. This was a major advantage given the lack of power steering. However, the system was unreliable at the start. Nigel's car broke down in 3 out of 4 practice sessions before the season's first race in Rio and failed again during the warm-up lap. This made it all the more unexpected when Nigel won the race. It was the first ever win for a car with a semi-automatic gearbox and the longest distance the car had ever covered.
Wow.
Dude, that's that project car. You know, you
Yeah.
get like the 10 mile and then it's like
100
100 mile, 500
Yeah,
mile.
that's right.
Dude, he passed the 1,000 mile limit. Once you get past there, you're good.
Yeah.
Amazing. But Nigel's good luck didn't last the whole year,
No, never mind.
as he was forced to retire 6 times with mechanical issues.
But no broken bones yet, right?
We'll see. Despite the setbacks, Nigel finished 4th in the World Championship with 2 wins, 4 podiums, and 2 fastest laps, and his courageous driving earned him the nickname Il Leone, or the Lion, from Ferrari fans.
The lion, he makes a roar from the engine.
Simba.
He sleeps 22 hours a day and have the ladies go get him food.
1990 should have been the peak of Nigel's F1 career thus far, but he was once again at the center of intra-team controversy. Before the season, Alain Prost left McLaren to join Mansell at Ferrari. Despite Nigel holding number 1 driver status, he felt the team's support increasingly shift towards Prost.
Prost was very political about
Yes.
all of his
He
moves.
was very,
So,
that was his, I mean, he was a great driver,
yeah,
but that was his true strength,
he
was
really,
his diplomacy.
yeah, he, and it always worked in his favor.
I can only imagine Nigel being in like a meeting and hearing like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring him on." He's like, "Oh, God damn it,
Yeah.
That
this-
little twerp,
not this guy again."
that guy with the curly hair and the 4'10".
Nigel described Prost as a, quote, political driver who worked to motivate the team in his favor. At the British Grand Prix, Nigel discovered that Prost had taken a liking to his car, leading Ferrari to secretly swap the vehicles.
Oh man,
Feeling disheartened and exhausted by team politics, Nigel announced his retirement after a 5th place finish in the World Championship.
Ah, it's
that's
messed
still
up.
really good for what he's an elder statesman at this point.
So, you may recall at the beginning of the episode, I said Nigel Mansell is the only man to hold an F1 title and an IndyCar title at the same time. You might have also noticed at this point, Nigel hasn't done either of those things. So, here's what happened next. Nigel unretired. He was coaxed out of retirement by Frank Williams to rejoin his old team for the 1991 season. Nigel agreed under specific conditions about number 1 driver status to ensure a genuine shot at the championship. Determined to make a strong comeback at the age of 38, he also trained harder than ever, losing weight and improving his
Dude,
fitness.
there's still time for me.
Bro
There's
is
still time.
Bro is locking in. Mansell stepped behind the wheel of the new Williams FW14,
Okay,
designed by Adrian Newey
yeah,
and powered by Renault. So Adrian Newey, the guy who designs designed like all of Red Bull's cars.
This
as
is
well.
the car that Ayrton died in.
Can we check that? That's the
Hey,
Sega
whoa.
car.
What?
Right?
I think so.
I think this is that car. Cool T.
That's a very cool tee.
Yeah.
Jimmy will sell it to you for $750.
Come get it.
The car was promising, but plagued by early reliability issues, with retirements in the first 2 races and a crash in the third. Mansell fell too far behind Aryton Senna to win the title, but finished the season in second place overall. The 2 drivers combined for another iconic F1 moment when Senna ran out of fuel on the last lap of the British Grand Prix, so Mansell gave him a lift back to the pits after winning the checkered
I
flag.
love
That's
this.
cool.
I love
That's
this
cool.
image.
After the season, Nigel discovered he had a broken foot that required surgery and a lengthy rehab.
That's how many
Oh,
injuries
man.
this guy's had.
My foot really hurts, guys.
Yeah. No, he didn't even notice. He was like,
This dude must have been
combing
hopped
his
up on
mustache.
so many pain medicine.
Probably, dude.
Yeah.
But with another season around the corner and feeling like he had a good shot at the title, Nigel bypassed the operation. Instead, he used bespoke carbon fiber inserts in his boots to manage the injury during the 92 season.
Bro, just go to the doctor.
Men will do anything.
But go to the doctor.
Yeah. I was like, that's ridiculous. And then I realized that I broke my leg one time and then walked around at Lollapalooza for 3 days.
What?
Yeah, right above my ankle.
You were the Nigel
Nigel Mansell.
Nigel
You're the Nigel Mansell of Lollapalooza.
Lolla.
Skateboarders from Milwaukee. Yeah, I skateboarding. I thought I twisted my ankle and I heard a snap and I was like, I gotta go to the ER. And they
And then
took
you're like, oh, but shit, 311's coming to town.
Yeah. No, that year is 9 Inch Nails and Rage Against the Machine.
Oh.
Damn.
And I had already bought tickets.
Yeah,
So
you can't skip
Yeah.
that.
well, I would have gotten a cast, but they didn't see a break in my leg
Oh,
at
that
the ER.
Moment.
Then went, they were like, just ice it, whatever, like wrap it. So I did that, and I was like, something's not right. Like first day at Lollapalooza, so I found this stick. It was using the stick as a crutch, and of course, they put like Cool Kids on one side, Kanye's on the other, so you're like walking back, 9 Inch Nails on this side,
Yeah.
Rage on that side,
Yeah.
constantly having to walk
You're
back
getting
and
your
forth.
10,000 steps on that
Yeah.
broken leg, dude.
And I was just like, this sucks. And then I went back to school. And then like 3 weeks later, my doctor called me. I was like, oh, they're trying to get cash out of me or whatever. This is a crash grab. And finally I like listened to the voicemail and they were like, you have a broken leg. You have to come back and get it reset.
Oh my God, dude.
And it had been 3 weeks already. And
Oh,
so I was
no.
like, they're going to like break
They're
it
gonna break
again.
your shit.
Dude.
And then set it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And so now I just live with
Really?
Oh,
intermittent pain.
Damn, dude.
I mean, anytime it gets really muggy,
Yeah.
I can feel it in my leg.
dude, you're a trooper.
I think I was just stupid. Like, I should have probably just gotten it taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never told that story before.
No.
No.
Whoa. Oh,
That's
yeah.
I had
a
no
new
idea.
Joe lore right there. Wow.
And you still
Okay.
have that broken leg to this day.
Well, it happened right above my ankle.
Mm.
And so I think the angle that they took the
the x-ray, so they didn't
yeah.
see the crack. Or
But then my pediatrician, my physician was like, there's like a spiral fracture. Like you have to get this
Oh.
taken care of.
Oh.
Yeah.
you okay, dude?
I did see my pediatrician when I was like 20 years old.
Still
Yeah,
a baby is still a human.
Yeah.
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 You learn baby health, you learn human health.
Yeah. So, Williams's new car, the FW14B, was more reliable and over 2 seconds faster per lap than its predecessor. Nigel won the first 5 races of the season, a record-breaking start that cemented his title hopes early on.
That cemented his spine into one long bone.
One long bone tube.
you want to see my bone too?
Over the course of the year, he secured 14 of 16 pole positions and won 9 total races.
Dude.
With-
That's so unfair.
That's crazy. Yeah. With 5 races remaining, Mansell finally clinched his first world championship, becoming Britain's first F1 champ in 16 years
Yes.
at nearly 40 years old.
Let's
Damn,
go.
That's sick.
There's still time.
That's
There's
right.
still time.
Yeah.
He set new records for the most wins, pole positions, fastest laps, and points in a single season.
I mean, that car was so dominant.
You would think a world champ wouldn't have to scrap for a spot in F1, but Nigel Mansell spent his career scrapping. After his title run, Mansell believed he had a provisional deal to race for Williams in 93. However, Williams' French sponsors wanted a French driver and pushed Frank Williams to bring Alain Prost to the team. And ultimately, Mansell and Williams...
Little twerp.
Dude, this guy keeps flying around like a
Yeah.
storm cloud.
Yeah,
He's like Gru.
ultimately, Mansell and Williams were unable to reach an agreement.
Oh, that sucks.
As a result, Nigel didn't have a car to defend his long, elusive world title. He was crushed. But his spirits quickly turned around when he was approached with an unlikely offer from a movie star.
Wait, going back, I think it's so shitty that Alain Prost keeps getting to like be like, I want that car. And then he's just like, they put him in the car and he gets his way all the time. It's like
really-
Augustus Gloop.
Paul Newman, co-owner of the prestigious Newman-Haas racing team, asked him to hop across the pond and drive in IndyCar. Several IndyCar veterans warned Nigel it would take 2 to 3 years to master oval racing, which was vastly different from F1. IndyCars were heavier, less nimble, and had a higher top speed. They also generated less downforce and G-force. They featured manual gear changes and less sophisticated technology compared to F1 cars. In addition, Nigel was one of Europe's most recognizable sports figures, but his F1 championship meant little to American fans or manufacturers. He accepted the offer anyway. Mansell won the very first IndyCar race of this 1993 season at Surfers Paradise in Australia.
Dude,
You know where that is?
it's my hometown.
Really?
Yeah, it's part of the Gold Coast.
Oh,
My
because your
grandma
whole
lives there.
family is all surfers.
My mom's side is from there.
For anyone not in the know, Jimmy has 2 uncles that are in the skateboarding Hall of Fame.
Yep.
That's crazy.
But that's on my dad's side.
So you have skateboarders on one side, surfers on the other.
Yeah.
And you can't even do a kickflip.
No.
Come on, dude.
Okay, we got to get Jimmy on a board.
Yeah.
Well, I used to surf, but I haven't done it in a long time.
You
But
use
I
a
would love to
shortboard?
get back out there.
What size?
I had a longboard.
A foam top.
I mean, I was a kid.
Come on, dude.
My dad's not going to buy me like a crazy board.
You're not going to surf anything under 8 feet.
Yeah. But I'd love to get back out there. Yeah, it looks really, I don't know. I love surf culture, but
Yeah.
just never like got into it over here once I moved.
Kelly Slater or Laird
There is
Hamilton.
a photo
Which
of
one?
Kelly Slater holding me as
What?
a kid. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Okay.
I'll have to find that one.
Nigel claimed pole position at Surfers Paradise and overcame a stop-go penalty and a suspected puncture to cross the finish line first. His car ran out of fuel 100 yards after the finish line, making it a dramatic and historic victory.
Dog, his teams have to put a little bit more fuel in his
Just a little bit
Just
more.
a little bit.
However, later the same season during a practice session in Phoenix, Nigel suffered his worst accident yet
Oh, God.
when his car swapped ends at 187 miles an hour and hit a concrete wall, which smashed his gearbox into his spine.
Oh, God. I mean, Jesus Christ. This dude has so many pieces of metal in his spine at this moment.
The force of the impact opened up a cavity in Mansell's back, an injury so severe that doctors could only compare it to trauma seen on corpses from plane crashes.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Nigel required 148 stitches and the removal of a 12-inch section of necrotic tissue.
Ugh. How much shorter is he now?
A medical journal later named this never-before-seen injury the Mansell lesion.
Oh, my God.
Jeez.
Luckily, Nigel isn't the kind of guy to let a large hole in his abdomen keep him down.
Well,
10 days after the surgery,
Oh, no. Don't tell me he's getting in another race car.
240 hours, Jimmy. He finished third at the next IndyCar
What?
event
God damn it.
in Long Beach,
he's missing 12 inches of tissue.
despite frequent fluid buildup in his back and,
Oh.
numbness
Damn, dude.
in his feet due to anesthetic.
What? I would hate to be his wife. Like,
This dude's
come
getting
on.
shorter.
Yeah.
He's got more.
Yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only reason I'd hate to be his wife. He just keeps getting shorter.
I wonder why.
Mansell went on to win 4 oval races on the season, becoming the first Brit to win one in over 40 years.
What?
At Nazareth, the penultimate race of the season, he clinched the IndyCar championship, becoming the first driver to win the F1 World Championship and the IndyCar title in consecutive years. And for 1 week in September of 1993, before the new F1 champ was crowned, He held both the F1 and IndyCar championships simultaneously, a unique achievement not seen before or
That's
since.
sick. And then he picked up both trophies and he said, man, my back really hurts.
Nigel,
And then he approached Excedrin for sponsorship the next year.
Can you please give me painkillers?
Nigel returned to IndyCar in 94, but struggled to defend his title because his car was uncompetitive compared to a dominant Penske team led by Al Unser Jr.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back in Europe, the F1 world was shocked by Ayrton Senna's death at the San Marino Grand Prix. Among the ripple effects, this loss left Nigel's old team at Williams with an open driver's seat. Still bitter that he was unable to defend his title, Mansell accepted Williams' offer to rejoin them mid-season, starting 4 races in between IndyCar commitments.
God, that's huge shoes to fill.
That's crazy. In the season-ending Australian Grand Prix, Nigel put his car on pole and won the race, his 31st and final Grand Prix victory. The win made him Britain's winningest F1 driver until that record was broken by Lewis Hamilton in 2014. Williams was looking toward the future and decided to promote a younger driver for the 95 season, so Mansell accepted an offer to return to McLaren. Unfortunately, their car that season was not only super uncompetitive, but also uncomfortable. Nigel barely fit in the tiny cockpit, despite being 3/4 an inch shorter.
Dude, he was way shorter at this point. All right, come on, let's be honest.
Disillusioned once again, Nigel decided to step away from F1 for the final time.
Oh, wait. So when he lost 12 inches of tissue, it was just literally a cross section of it?
Yeah.
It was like a foot shorter?
They fused him together.
Yeah.
Though that was the end of Nigel Mansell's high-level racing career, he stayed involved in motorsport. In the mid-90s, he spent 2 brief stints racing British touring cars. In 2005, he competed in the Grand Prix Masters series that featured retired F1 drivers before it quickly folded. Perhaps most notably, Nigel suffered one final life-altering crash while racing with his sons, Leo and Greg, at Le Mans in 2010. Again, a tire failure at high speed caused him to flip, and he woke up in the hospital with no memory of the preceding days. He made a full recovery, but the brush with death compelled him to finally call racing quits for good.
Hang up the steering wheel.
At the age of 57.
Oh, my God. That's old.
Yeah.
That's wild, though.
That's insane.
And it's not really ever his fault.
No.
It's like tire failure.
Yeah. It's crazy. Nigel Mansell's career is a testament to resilience, courage, and an unrelenting passion for racing. He drove and won through financial struggle, countless injuries, and relentless rivalries with some of history's greatest drivers. His achievements on both sides of the Atlantic and his fiery, fearless approach to racing helped carve out a legacy unlike any other in motorsport. If you ever need proof that greatness can be achieved through sheer willpower, look no further than Leone, the people's champion, Nigel Mansell.
The Leone.
Simba.
Call you the lion, Joe.
I'm a Leo.
Oh. All right. Well, all right. Wow, what a story.
Really cool.
Yeah, he got beat up. My man got busted up.
He got bullied as a kid,
Yeah.
bullied in F1,
Oh my God.
and probably bullied at the doctor's office as well.
Yeah. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this was awesome. It was really fun.
Follow Jimmy at russelljimmy.jp over there on Instagram if you'd like. If you haven't seen Jimmy's Osaka, Japan video,
Oh, it's so
That's
good.
pretty good.
one of my favorite videos we've ever done. Also, just you really came into your own on that video.
Thank you. Yeah, I was in my element over there. It
Sure
was great. Can't wait to go back.
Follow Joe at Joe G. Weber. You can see cute little baby pictures on his story.
Yeah, I'm not much of a grid guy nowadays, but I've been hitting that story hard.
Waiting for the grid post to drop, dude.
Yeah. And you can follow me at Nolan J. Sykes on Instagram and Blue Sky. Big thank you to our crew. We got Edgar Grajeda behind the lenses over there, dude, behind the glass.
They're creeping around.
And Audrey Holden behind the mixing board. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell people to listen to the podcast if you think they'd like it. I think this is a banger, to be honest.
This is a banger. Shout out to our writer, Greg Nix. He always delivers.
That's right. And wow, we will see you next time. Feels good to be back.
Lunch boys?
Yeah.
Lunchtime.
This podcast is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Do you ever watch sports and find yourself wishing there was a way to get into the game? Well, let's go! With Underdog, there's finally a way to make picks on sports without leaving the house. The game is in your hands. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code GAS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code GAS. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.